All right, first and foremost, I want to begin this lesson by giving all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakah, Quadash. I want to give double honor to the apostles, bishops, and elders of Great Millstone, and peace and mercy to the 144,000, the rest of the elect. I'm the brother YASHARAHLA, back with another quick lesson, Lord willing, it's edifying. And I just wanted to tap in real quick to this topic dealing with weak Israelite men. All right, you got these different videos on YouTube and testimonies, and these guys that they call themselves being once a part of the faith, which they never were. But why I left the Hebrew Israelite faith and why I'm not an Israelite anymore, and all of this madness, which it's a lie. That's an oxymoron, because if you're an Israelite, you've always been an Israelite. The Yahweh Shemel Shai created you to be an Israelite. So you can't never not be an Israelite if you're an Israelite. You can't change your nationality. Your nationality is determined by the seed of your father. And ultimately the Lord chooses who was his people and who's not. All right. He put certain spirits on the earth to be Israelites, and he put other spirits on the earth to be the other nations. All right. He created all these things in the beginning. So you can't change something that was already written from the beginning. All right, something that was already designed before the foundation of the world. That's number one, which leads to number two. What we got to understand about this truth, when you first come in, it's important, it's imperative to your faith and your walk, because this is, when you come into this, it's a very spiritual thing, and we are in a spiritual war. We're in a spiritual battle every day. So it's important for us to know that Yahweh Shemel Shai have predestined who the elect is. There's a concept that's called the elect in the Bible. And the elect, the word elect, comes from the Greek word eklektos, which means predestined or chosen. When you deal with the word predestined, I got the basic dictionary definition. It means of an outcome or course of events determined in advance by divine will or fate. You see? So that means that it can't be changed. And that means what? Malachi 3:6, it tells you that the Lord doesn't change. He changeth not. So you can't undo something that's already been predestined, because the course of the events has already been determined. It's already been decided by Yahweh, and then it was given to Yahweh Shai. All authority and judgment was given to Yahweh Shai. So you can't change something that was predestined, which is basically the elect, which you got to understand that only the elect is going to be saved in these latter days. Only the elect is going to endure in this truth in these latter days, and ultimately get into the kingdom. All right, on this go around, on this side, see the salvation of our Lord Yahweh Shai. All right, and fulfill these prophecies. Only the elect is going to do that. So the number one thing you got to realize is that these guys were not of the elect. All right, once you understand that, it's easier to digest and understand, why would a guy leave this truth? Why would somebody that had this truth go back to the spiritual amnesia of not knowing or believing that they're an Israelite? Because the scriptures tell you, man, all right, that the dog will return back to his vomit. So just because somebody comes into this, and this is, I'm including myself, out of fear, of Yahweh Shemel Shai, just because a man or woman comes into this truth, it doesn't mean that they're the elect. All right, the whole point of it is that you got to endure unto the end to be saved. That's what our Lord Yahweh Shai told us. All right, Matthew the 24th chapter. So these people that is going back to their vomit, they clearly didn't endure. Whether it was they got offended, it could be a list of things. All right, there's factors against us. All right, spiritual, demons and certain conditions that could take you out this truth. All right, you got women, you got men who have fallen out of this truth because of women. Believe it or not, we've heard stories, we've seen certain things. Brothers, that got experience could tell you, man. You got men that have left the faith, giving up their crown, giving up their salvation because of women, because of a weaker vessel. All right, you got men that have fallen out where they I can't do this, my feet hurt. we've heard a lot of things, especially from the stories we've heard up, on down from the apostles. But, I myself, I've heard a slew of things personally. And I said, I can't believe this shit. You got dudes that'll say, oh, well, we don't got to go out on the highways and byways to do the work. We could just do it in our everyday life. Just believing in their own vain opinion ultimately. Because that's what it comes down to. The thing that I want to really speak on and harp on is being persuaded. You got to be grounded, and your faith has to be persuaded of this truth, that this is the truth. All right, you can't be double-minded, and you can't be weak. If you feel like you're weak, if you feel like your faith is weak, if you got a demon of doubt, you need to be praying as soon as possible. You need to be praying as much as possible and as soon as possible. You may even have to go on a fast. All right, you may even have to confess it to a brother of the faith that is strong. All right, a man that's approved of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and ask him to pray for you, man, and rebuke you. Read you some scriptures to get that weak ass fucking spirit off of you. I don't mean to curse, but that's a bad. We in a season of fallouts right now, man. This is not the time to be weak, man. All right, this is the worst time for a man, Israelite man in this truth, to be weak. All right, you see what's going on. These Christians, they call themselves, like attacking us and shit, pressuring us and posing all these questions for us. What do you think that's doing right now? You got guys right now that are getting weak. They not studied enough. They haven't been praying. They not persuaded enough. Their faith isn't up there. And, they may be questioning the doctrine, and they not saying nothing, but look what's happening. Every day you seeing a new why I left the Israelites. How do we know, so to speak, I'm going to say this loosely, but how do we know, like, you're not next, so to speak? How do you know the man that's standing next to you is not next? You got to know those that labor amongst you. You got to examine yourself daily, whether you be in the faith. All right, and that comes through prayer, living a balanced life, not being over righteous, not being over wicked, not letting your sins weigh you down, but not letting your iniquity lift up themselves. All right, it's a lot, man. This thing is not easy. People from the outside looking in, they think this is easy. This is not easy, man. And if you're not built for this, ultimately, if you wasn't made for this, you're not going to make the cut. And that's the fearful thing that all and each and every single one of us should have, man. What if I don't make the cut? What do I have to do to show my diligence to Yahweh Shem Yahushai? All right, so I can have a clean conscience towards Yahweh Shem Yahushai. You see, not enough men, well, I'll say this, the guys that's falling out right now and getting weak, you're not doing that. All right, that's what's happening. You're not doing enough of that. You're not examining yourself. All right, and it could be pride. You got dudes that come in and they're proud as fuck. Just coming into this truth. That's another thing that could sift you out, is your own pride. All right, and leading to my next point, dealing with parroting. All right, when you first coming in, it's natural for you to be a parrot, be mimicking, like the Apostle Gabar always explains the, I believe it's 4 or 5 levels of intelligence. I'm pretty sure it's 5. The first one being a parrot, the second one being a monkey see, monkey do, which is also a form of mimicking. Then you got the toad, which is, basically you're settled, you're persuaded, but you just stubborn. Maybe you're getting a little bit ahead of yourself. Your head is getting big. You becoming arrogant. And then you have the owl, which allows you to see through the darkness, just having a more deeper insight, having the eye salve to see things for yourself. Other men necessarily don't got to tell you something. You should be able to see it for yourself. And then you have ultimately the dragon, which is the highest level of wisdom, which is basically the level that the apostles are on. All right, keen eyesight, also a form of cruelty, but not on the left hand, but just being stoic, being strong, powerful leaders, man. But mostly dealing with the keen eyesight, and they'll tell you, man. You listen to the apostles' videos, and they got plenty of stories of guys that had fallen out, dudes that weren't right. Well, what do you think you're supposed to do when you hear that? You're supposed to examine yourself, man. You're supposed to look at the men around you. All right, we're supposed to be our brother's keepers. You see, so that spirit of flattery and mimicking, parroting, ass kissing, man pleasing, such a one feareth the eyes of men, you're not going to make it far in this truth with that spirit, man. You're going to get offended eventually. Why? Because you got cool, you ass kissing so much that certain men may, see you, you get comfortable, basically. You get comfortable because you think you cool. You think you cool with the leadership. You start losing respect. Then eventually you may get rebuked or start catching hell. And then you get offended. You get emotional. Oh, I think this. I feel this. I feel like brothers don't like me. That's a weak fucking bitch ass spirit, man. And that could sift you right the hell up out of here. And that could turn you into a scoffer on top of that. Then now you start coming against the men of the Lord. Oh, y'all brothers ain't right. You call yourself rebuking men of the Lord. When who the fuck are you, nigga? Where the fuck did you come from? Oh, you got it right, but we don't got it right. Yeah, okay. So all of these things you got to consider that, especially seeing now that we in a season of men falling out, man. Weak ass Israelites. There's a spirit that's being rebuked right now on weak men. And ultimately, read Romans the 14th chapter. I'm gonna read a couple of scriptures out of here, but ultimately, read it for yourself, man. Romans 14. It says, when you look at the heading, let me just go to it real quick. It says principles of conscience. Okay, principles of conscience. This is your conscience, meaning your faith to Yahweh by Shem Yahushai. And I'm gonna jump around. I'm gonna read the first verse. All right, him that is weak in the faith receive ye. So yeah, just because a man is getting weak, it doesn't mean that he's not the elect. It doesn't mean that he's going off or he's wicked or anything like that. He could just be being tested. All right, the Lord could be testing his faith. So you don't automatically cast a man away or go so hard on him if his faith is weak. It says receive ye. So you got to deal with him. All right, you got to try to build him up. You got to try to admonish him, exhort him. And that's really the point of this lesson through the spirit and power of Yahweh by Shem Yahushai, is that if there is any of you men out there that's weak, and including myself, I'm rebuking myself for times that I may be getting weak. It happens to all of us, man. At the end of the day, we all men, all right? We in the flesh, and we all going through the same experience. That's why I said don't think the fiery trial of your faith, don't think it's something strange. All right, the next man next to you, he's going through the same thing you going through, brother. He's thinking the same things you think. When you get those spirits of doubt, we get them too, bro. All right, we're not sitting up here trying to be tyrants and trying to, act like we better than somebody or nothing like that. We just servants towards one another. So we're going to rebuke you. All right, we're going to let you know. And we're going to be able to use the experiences that we have and, the knowledge and understanding that we have to try to build you up through the spirit. Because ultimately we can say this and that and read 100 scriptures to you, but if Yahweh by Shem Yahushai is not dealing with you, then that's hey man, tough luck. Honestly, bro, there's really nothing we could do. We can't make the Lord deal with you. All right, we could pray for you, but if you ain't praying for yourself and if you really don't believe and you're not persuaded, then the prayers don't work, bro. All right, that's just the God honest truth. The scriptures tell you that you pray amiss. If you praying and you feel like your prayers ain't being answered, you need to check yourself. You need to examine your faith, man, and really question yourself. Do some soul searching. All right. But it says, but not to doubtful disputations. All right. So you don't want to, how do you say it? You don't want to basically be the reason that a brother is getting weaker or, creating doubt in that man's mind. We don't want to do that to one another. But you got men that do that sometimes by accident. All right, but we're not here to do that. It says, for one believeth that he may eat all things, another who is weak eateth herbs. So that's going into basically your faith might not be the same as the next man's faith. One brother might believe that, we in captivity. I'm not going to go so hard with wearing 100% cotton and, it's in your spirit. You want to ultimately be righteous and keep the law. But one brother's faith may allow him to understand that if he doesn't wear 100% cotton garments, that he's going to still be saved by the grace of Yahweh Shai. Because really that's the faith that we're supposed to have, man. All right, that's the thing that's supposed to unite us, if you will, but rather bring us together. And that's the faith that we all have in common. All right, these guys that are talking about they keeping the law perfect and all that, those men ain't our brothers, men. You know, they condemning us by the law. They saying that we should be destroyed because we ain't wearing 100% cotton. But the next man, he might believe, now, brother, I'm gonna go shopping. You know, I'm gonna make sure that the clothes that I wear to the best of my ability is not mixed fabric. You say con, brother, that's an honorable thing. You don't tell that man, nah, you don't need to do that, because you know the grace of, because you could be tarnishing that man's faith, man. He just got to get built up. You see, same way with the circumcision concept. You don't just put that on a man as soon as he comes in the truth. I could use myself as an example. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed. I wasn't circumcised when I was a child. All right, when I was born, my parents didn't do that. Guess what? I did 2 Passovers, if I'm not mistaken. It could have even been 3, but I believe it was 2, because I have, you know, bad memory sometimes, but I believe it was 2 Passovers that I did that I wasn't circumcised. And brothers never really like hounded me for that. You know, they let me know, look, you can't get the Torah blessing, and that shit convicted myself. I said, nah, what? I need that Torah blessing. So guess what? I went and I got it done through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shemiah Washai, because that, you know, it does take a lot, so to speak, for a man to do something like that. You know, that's, you know, it takes faith to do that. That's a procedure that, you know, it's not comfortable, you know, when you got to go through that. But guess what? If you persuaded enough, you'll do it. So let me jump down to verse 5. It says, one man esteemeth one day above another, another esteemeth every day alike. Let every man be persuaded in his own mind. All right, so there you go. Your own mind, your spirit. You have to be convicted of this truth, man. Nobody could do that for you. Only Yahweh Shemiah Washai. Faith is a gift. All right, and faith is also something that got to be nourished. You know, you got to grow, and you got to be nourished by the Holy Spirit in order for your faith to increase in this truth, man, and your understanding, because faith and understanding is going to go hand in hand. All right, as well as fear. Over the years, you know, the longer you in this thing, you get more fear. You become more fearful the longer you in, because you're like, wow, the Lord is really having mercy on me. And I just hope that I endure to the end. And you, of course, there's a level of confidence that come with that. All right. So you're not just a timid, you know, guy that, you know, but you're fearful. All right. And basically what that leads you to be is cautious. You know, you become cautious, work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. All right. When you go into that word trembling there in the Greek, I forget the exact Greek word, but it basically says in its definition, one who distrusts his own ability to meet all requirements, but does his utmost to basically try. All right. So, yeah, it makes you more diligent. You know, the more fear you have, you're supposed to grow in this thing, man. That's the point. You guys that are lukewarm, there's something wrong with you, man. And you really should be afraid. You really should be in great fear. All right. And then I'm going to jump down to the end. To verse 22, it says, has thou faith, have it to thyself before Yahweh Shemiah Washai. All right, so ultimately, your faith is between you and Yahweh Shemiah Washai. All right, there's no room for ass kissing up in here. There's no room for none of that. All right, the Lord don't deal with that. The Lord don't like that. The Lord ain't with that. All right, that's not going to get you salvation. We can't save you. We tell you that all the time. All right, so you better make sure that your faith with Yahweh Shemiah Washai is intact. And that's that, you know, again, if you feel weak, you need to be praying more. You need to be fasting. You need to be doing the right things, man. And the Lord will increase your faith. All right. So with that, I'm going to give all praise, honor, and glory. Actually, Salakia, it says, happy is he that condemneth not himself in the thing which he alloweth. So there you go. That's your clean conscience. You may know that you're sinning in one part, but you're not really in control, or you know that the grace of Yahweh Shai is for you. All right, you believe you're the elect, and who could lay any charge against the Most High's elect? It doesn't give you a license to sin, but it clears your conscience, okay? Because we know that we all sinners, man. Any man that's walking this earth that say he's not sinning is a damn liar. And that's 1 John, I believe, the 4th chapter. All right, so with that, I'm going to say, call hello, Yahweh Shemiah Shai. Hope and pray you were edified. Shalom to the elect.